What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Game Day Squad Football Show brought to you by the Game Day Society. I'm joined by Zonald again, and we've got a bit of a different episode this week just because of all the annoying midweek fixtures and back-to-back lockouts. We're going to try and cover round 14, which starts tomorrow morning, and then round 15, which starts on the weekend, in one episode just to get as much out to you as possible. Now, Zonald, how have you been? How have you been handling all of the tight fixtures, all of the chaos?
I had a really bad week.
Yeah.
Luckily I was away on holiday, so it didn't seem as bad. But I was being a bit chirpy about picking Crystal Palace players in the chat, and it was all going well until they conceded straight away in the second half.
Yeah. Yeah, I made that mistake as well. Initially I didn't, and in the episode I put out, I didn't talk them up that much, and then I was like, no, but they're Crystal Palace. They're good.
Good record against United as well.
Yeah, and it's just that clean sheet. As soon as it goes, you lose a bunch of points. So learned that the hard way. But obviously out of the cup a few weeks ago, but you're still in the Guillotine League, which is another little side league going on.
Thanks to Tom's mishap.
Yeah. If you haven't seen, Tom put out a little statement about forgetting to load a team in this week, which would have been devastating. And I'm sure we've all been very close to doing that. But that's criminal. Got to be locking in your sides. I once again have somehow undeservedly snuck through to the next round of the cup.
I think it was like a point,
16.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a point. I had I think the 6th worst score out of the 32 that were left, and I still snuck through just. But that's cup football. Just got to win your fixture. You don't have to win the league. And I'm up against I think Danny D. He's winning the competition so far. So I think I'm going to have to pull off a miracle here to get through. But
it'd be a tough one for sure.
Yeah, we're into the All-Star prize round as well now. So if we win this, we get an All-Star card, which could be huge for next year. So good luck to everyone else out there. I won't harp on too much because I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. But yeah,
we do have some viewers that I think are still in it. From memory, without having a list, I think Ganners is still in it.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
And Mel's unfortunately went out early. But
tough matchup though. I think Mel's had in the first one against Skip.
Yeah. But yeah, so this episode, we're going to do it slightly differently than we have, just to try and cover the 2 rounds as efficiently as possible. Rather than going through each individual fixture and kind of talk about the players, we're going to go through each position for the round. So for round 14, we'll go through the keepers and defenders, midfielders, forwards, show our teams, and then we'll do the same thing for round 15. We haven't got teams for round 15, but it's a while away. But yeah, let's just jump straight into it, hey? First up, we have the goalkeepers. I'll make this a little bit bigger. We'll just have to lose our faces. But for round 14, there's a few pretty decent matchups for the keepers. Was there anyone that you were eyeing off early, Zonald?
Donnarumma, because I reckon they'll concede some shots to Fulham at home. Fulham have been pretty good at home. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking it's a time to play him where they could maybe still concede, but he'd get a decent amount of saves. Fulham have won 4 at home, drawn 1, lost 1 this season.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like Donnarumma is always a good shout, but then it always kind of just slips at the end. He's an incredible keeper. Probably, I would say, top 2 in the league, if not best, for actual keeper.
Yeah.
But it's just that City they score lots of goals, but then they concede 1. And it's
their
really
high line brings it about. They're always likely to get 1 on the counter against them.
Yeah. One that I don't mind at all is Aston Villa and Martinez. He came out quite nicely in my numbers with a bit of a pump to his average, just based on, I guess, what he does well in. I always just worry a little bit about picking him for that head.
Yeah, it's because he's hot-headed. He's known for giving away a late yellow card, which is an automatic points deduction. And then
Yeah.
just like we've chatted about before, stupid stuff. Just like a few weeks ago, he gave away that easy pass that resulted in an open net goal.
Hmm.
So like he's again another good. He was good last week. I think he scored well as well.
Yeah.
They're probably going to concede some shots as well to Brighton. It's at Brighton's home, so most likely. So it's one of those where in the 50-50 game, he could still do well without a clean sheet. It's just, that
Mhm.
hot-headedness always puts me off a bit with him.
Yeah. The thing is, the scores though are too tasty to ignore. Like he's
Mm.
gone in the last 5 weeks, he's got an 18, a 28.25, and a 19.25.
Yeah.
So
So
like
just bring it back.
those are like borderline top keeper scores. So I think he's definitely one that I will be bringing in and out, and I reckon I'll chicken out, but he's definitely on the cards.
In the scheme of things too, like what's the word? Like if he's got a clean sheet at the point, like the worst he could lose is like clean sheet bonus and then a concede. Whereas if he's already got a ton of saves and they've already conceded, the worst he's losing for like hot headedness is like 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Or red.
yeah, that too. But I wouldn't think he'd be that stupid to do that.
Yeah. Maybe a dumb second yellow.
Maybe.
But other options, I mean, Ropes is always a good option. I think he's what's the matchup like for him this week?
Liverpool this week.
Yeah.
Away as well. Sunderland aren't that great away.
Hmm.
So Sunderland this season have gone, let's have a look, 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses away.
Yeah, okay. Does that pan out good for him, do you think? Or bad?
He's probably going to get some shots on, and we know he's a good shot stopper.
Mhm.
The other thing that's sort of in Sunderland's advantage is Sunderland has the 4-day break, whereas Liverpool only have 3-day break.
Yeah, okay. That's true.
That's another thing I've looked into a lot this week because I feel like it'll come into account for rotation. The matchups for rotations as well. I think someone like, let's look at Arsenal, for example. So Arsenal have a 3-day break, Brentford have a 4-day break. Arsenal playing Brentford. Brentford haven't been great away from home this season, so they might see it as a good opportunity to rest someone like Rice.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, speaking of resting, one player that I'm a little bit suspicious of is Sanchez.
Because he's been
they've talked about that he's not immune from getting rested, and they do have a decent backup. Well, I mean, a equivalent backup, I'd say.
Yeah.
And they've had a lot of back-to-back fixtures. This kind of seems like it's against Leeds, potentially. I mean, Leeds are all right, but potentially an ease, like not a massive game. This is the kind of game where I would be very nervous about starting him.
I'd have him on that list of like top 10 players who are probably likely to get rested.
Yeah.
He's actually in one of my better keeper options this week because of the matchup and the fact it's at Leeds. He might actually get some shots to save.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the weeks I rate Raya as well, or David Raya, because Arsenal might rotate a little bit. Brentford do have some good attacking options.
Mhm.
So he might have some stuff to do rather than just the 10-point clean sheet if they get one.
Yeah. No, and obviously the big news in terms of keepers is Nick Pope likely being out. Missed last week. I think he's still got a groin issue and likely to miss.
Plus, like apparently, it's part of it was down to him making a massive error or an error of some sort in one of the games. So Howe's like sort of rotating between the moment, trying to find out who's better.
Yeah, and I mean they've got a great alternative option, so it's I'd just be staying away from him, even though he is one of the, in fact, it's second highest scorer for us in Game Day squad.
Yeah,
he's one that you'd probably
avoid for
next
now.
little bit. Yeah. Other than that, I think we've probably covered most of the big names in goals. Vicaria is another one I didn't mind this week, just with the Newcastle matchup. I think another side where they'll probably get a few shots off to him. I just know that you're not the biggest fan, hey?
Yeah, like I actually rate Newcastle in the fixture, which might mean he's all right because he had that big game against Chelsea where they Chelsea obviously were favoured. They had a lot of shots. I think they won 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
Another one like that people might go with just to change it up a little bit is Lemons from United. Like decent matchup against West Ham. Only thing is, I do think they'll concede some shots. I think Bolton will get through a little bit, but it could be one of those ones where United just set up and then West Ham barely do anything. Paqueta's out too from the red card.
That's true. We could talk about that for a while, but it's probably not super relevant to us anymore.
Yeah.
Now, sorry, I should explain the graphics as well here, just because they're a little bit different to what I normally do. So the numbers and the name of the team and the numbers in the colours are what we're expecting for that team. So, for example, the top left one, Brentford, minus 1.86. That means we're expecting Brentford players to have a negative 1.86 to their score. So slightly different to how we've had it, but it just kind of matched up nicely with the new format.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump into defenders, because this is another area where I think there's a lot of good options this week. But there's a lot of, I guess, risk in terms of back-to-back-to-back fixtures. Defenders often get rotated through. How are you feeling about your Crystal Palace boys bouncing back?
See, this is one thing I wanted to point out. I feel like a lot of people get in the headspace of a player does really badly for them and they're like, okay, banned for a while. So I don't want to get into that headspace of the Palace defenders went terribly last week because I tripled up on them. So don't go for like one of them or don't go for any of them. Mm-hmm. I'm backing in two of them again. So I got Munoz and Guehi at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, that would be the two that I would be looking at as well.
Yeah,
in terms of the numbers.
But yeah, I think it's important to know that, especially for this busy period, not to do that sort of thing. Another thing similar to it is you'll get a player that rotated out. You would have played him. You've copped the emergency, or something's gone wrong, and then you basically blacklist them for a while. I wouldn't be doing that at all.
Yeah, no, it's hard not to do though. It's very emotional, fantasy sports, but you're right. That's why, the difference between a mediocre score and a top score.
Yeah, exactly.
One player that I think comes out really nicely in the numbers is Nico Williams for Forest.
Me too.
Yeah. He's based on my numbers, he's going to be one of the highest scorers of the round, I think. I've kind of come up with this dodgy spreadsheet which predicts future scores.
That's good.
I won't share it with people because it's not great at predicting scores, as you can probably tell by my weekly scores, but I think it's getting better. So he's predicted to come out at as a almost +4 to his average, which is one of the better ones. Why do you like him?
He's high on my spreadsheet too. So my spreadsheet just looks at stats conceded by teams, what their opposition that they're playing this week, who gets those stats. So with Nico Williams, he's in 3 of those. So successful dribbles, accurate crosses, frees drawn, all stats that their opposition this week concede. And then he's top 3 for those for Nottingham Forest. So looks like he'll have one of those weeks where he just accumulates regardless of what he does.
Yeah. Now, one player who has finally bounced back a little bit is Van Dijk with I think Liverpool finally got a clean sheet after a while. Is he pickable this week? Sunderland, probably a better side to come up against, but
yeah, he's in my team. He might rotate out though. He's that sort of that 5th option at the moment. I don't know about the clean sheet. I just think he'll do really well on the air against players like Isidore. They don't have the tallest forward line, albeit on corners and stuff. They're going to have their massive defenders in there. So I feel like he's definitely playable. Clean sheet's sort of going to be a bonus because I think he will get decent points without it. He doesn't appear too much on my spreadsheet. He's in there, but he's not super high up. I think he's a solid option to use this week.
Yeah, I feel like he's definitely been underperforming from where we can see him being. So I think that's probably why he's falling off a lot of radars. But the first round where he just absolutely carved it up in the air, I think it was like 20 something aerial stats.
Just absolutely destroyed Bournemouth.
Yeah. So if he can just get another one of them and you're on it, then that's just a week winner for you.
I think it is a similar type setup because like Bournemouth have a similar mold of attacking options. They've got small attackers, decent sized defenders. So yeah, I think it could play out like that.
Yeah, nice.
One big thing to note, if people haven't clicked onto it yet, because he is playable this week, he would be playable if he wasn't out, is Senesi. He is out with the yellow card accumulation.
Yeah, which is quite annoying because he was one that I was kind of lining up for the week. Gosh,
has two things to that. So, A, Bournemouth get weaker defensively. NDI and Grealish come out like top of my stats.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think Grealish is definitely up there. We'll talk about it next the next couple. But yeah, you're right. The back line is going to impact who we're picking going forward.
Yeah.
Who else have you got?
Let's check my team. So, like, I'm still big on the Palace boys. Like, if they let me down a couple weeks in a row, it might change a little bit. But like, the matchups are there once again. Definitely a better matchup, I'd say, even though they had a good history against United. So the thing is with Burnley as well is you're sort of banking on that clean sheet from Villa. Sorry, not from Villa, from Palace, because Burnley might not get a ton of attacking chances, but they are a team that likes to just long ball a little bit, which could mean some aerial wins for the Palace defenders, some interceptions, that sort of stuff. So it could turn into a big scoring game for them regardless. Other players I've got this week, let's have a look.
One I don't mind, I don't know how they came out on your numbers, is Tarkowski. Pretty consistent scoring the last few weeks, gone 18.25, 15.25, 13.5, which are all scores I'd be very happy with. And coming up against Bournemouth this week with probably a weakened side, is this the opportunity where he could get forward, could score?
Well, yeah, for sure, because they're like aerially they're not that great. I think they're leading the league for conceding aerial duels. Let me just double check that. No, they're not in, but they've dropped away a little bit. They were leading it for quite a while. It's interesting with the Tarkowski scores because I'm pretty sure that included a game where they conceded 4.
Yeah. So it's
just shows his scoring outside of like keeping the clean sheet.
Yeah.
I think it's like decent to go for Everton players because they do get weakened without Senesi, and Semenyo's just returned from injury. But on the flip side, I do think Semenyo could dominate this type of game, which could result in a few lower Everton defender scores.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky because I want to probably pick Semenyo and the Everton forwards/mids and like a Tarkowski and maybe a Pickford even.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense to pick all of them because some will go bad no matter what in that kind of scenario.
Exactly.
Another area that we often look to is the Chelsea backline. I think Cucurella comes out not too bad for me.
He's good.
Chalobah looks all right, like good. My only worry is that he's not listed on the predicted lineup for Fantasy Football Scout, which is weird.
Could be a rotation because I don't know if he's got a yellow card accumulation or something. I don't think he does.
No, I don't think he's out. Yeah.
So it could just be they base it on what they do for Champions League, which is I'm pretty sure they heavily rotate the centre backs. Could be wrong on that. But they've got plenty of centre back options and everyone's back fit. So what do they got? Tossin and Badiashile, that makes sense. Could definitely happen. I think out of Chalobah, Cucurella and James, the least likely to get rotated will be Cucurella. So that's who I've got in at the moment. I'm not really going anywhere near Reece James. I think it'll be another case of people get drawn in by that big score he just had. And they could play him 2 in a row. It's a weaker game. Who do they have?
3 in a row because he played Champions League as well.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty confident he's not playing.
Yeah, true. I'd agree with that. Like, it's a weaker game. I'm pretty certain. Let's check the next game. They've got Bournemouth after this one on the weekend, so probably rest him for that.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I might say is, since Caicedo's out with a red, sort of guarantees Fernandez to play with Lavia also injured.
Mm-hmm.
Gusto or James could play CDM, most likely, or Santos, actually. Santos is probably just going to sit there, and then they'll play Gusto right back. So,
yeah, okay. Yeah,
Esteval's an interesting one if they do rotate to him.
Because I feel like, I guess we'll talk about it in a second, but he's one that I always want to pick, but just too nervous. Any other defenders you want to talk about? Timber's probably one as well.
Yeah, Timber's a safe one. Gabriel's still out. Tricky picking the Arsenal centre-back pairing because it could change.
Yeah.
They've got three really good backup centre, or three really good rotational centre-backs in Saliba, Hincapi, and Mosquera.
And I think Saliba is question mark injured still. So he's 75% to play, but still a bit too much for me. But yeah, Timber should be safe.
I would say so. The only thing is White could always rotate there. So I think I've got him in challenge at the moment as a diamond, but I could take him out. He's sort of like that one where I've got VDV in the lower ones. I've got him in this high one. Play that I like. So a lot of people have been asking me about because they want to double up on Forest defenders. I wouldn't triple. I wouldn't go Sells, Williams, and another one. I'd just go either Sells and Williams or Williams and another defender. A lot of people have been saying Milinkovic or Murillo. Murillo was injured last game. I think he's back for this one, or he's at least a chance to return. But they do like Morado, so don't be surprised if Murillo just comes back on the bench. So my recommendation would be Milinkovic between the two. But I would like to think more outside the box with this one, and Savonia, I think, would be a half-decent option. Especially against like a Wolf side where he could get down there. He'd probably win some... He's quite tall, so he could probably win some balls in the air. It's like... He's sort of like in that Calafiori mold.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's a great shout. I don't mind that at all. Yeah, I like Milinkovic. I just feel like the ceiling scores aren't there this season. Like he's, hitting. I think his high score is 16, and after that it's like 8. So it's just. This could be a good fixture for him. And obviously the structure and things have changed, but I think there's better options.
Yeah. I do like Milinkovic in the air, and against a Wolves team that's not great in the air, he could score off a corner or something. But I think just as likely as Savonia, who's also quite tall.
Yeah. No, sounds good. I think that covers everyone I had. Push on to the midfields for this round.
Ross has got a pretty good question to start the midfielders, so I might just start with that.
Yeah.
I think KDH is really good, Ross, and I think he's still a good, unique pick that people aren't really going to go to over someone like a Grealish. So I think you could definitely do him as a pod. I think he was even moving a bit towards striker last week. That he looked to be in that position when he scored. So I don't mind it. It's just the reason I rotate to Grealish, apart from being very template looky this week with lineups, is in my spreadsheet, Grealish comes out in 4 stats that is top 3 in for Everton, that Bournemouth top 5 conceding in the league. Same with NDI. And they're both in the exact same stats: shots on target, successful dribbles, fouls drawn, and tackles. So that's why I'm going towards him instead, but I can definitely see going for Dewsbury Hall as well.
Is there room for both?
Could be just because that Bournemouth defense is weakened. So I could definitely see like a Grealish setting up KDH for a goal.
Yeah, he's been very consistent the last few weeks. I think his numbers. Last 3 he's gone 19.5, 19.5, 19. Like that's
like he's been involved in the goals. And he's one of the I watched a fair few games. I like a lot of people like pass the eye test for me, but like he's looked the goods when he's played.
And yeah, Grealish's highest score in the last 5 or 6 actually is 14.5. So
started probably get that Salah effect. So early in the season, we saw a lot of people like just sticking with Salah because, and he's like, oh, if Salah's going to do something, he's going to keep scoring, but I can't afford to not play him. Got to a point recently where majority stopped playing him. He had I think he's had 1 or 2 good games in between. So I think we'll see similar with Grealish, where people might see Bournemouth as a bad fixture for them, especially away, which it sort of is. And they might jump off of him, and he might not be as played as I think he will be this week. I've got him I did a little usage thing, and anyone who's seen the cheat sheet I put together, and I had him in the second tier, so the 75 to 80% range.
Yeah, nice. And pretty what's the word? Textbook template midfield would be the 2 United boys as well, Bruno and Buemo. I think they come up pretty nicely this week. Up against West Ham, very positive in the kind of their play style should work well against them.
Yeah,
in terms of scoring, setting up.
Bruno's got some scoring history against them as well.
Yeah, and he's got a bunch of assists now as well. Still hasn't had a goal for a bit though, has he? But
yeah, it's just that deeper role he's playing. I say, when he gets penalties, he'll score them, but we know what's happened with his last few penalties.
Yeah.
But that deeper role just means he's more likely to assist than he is to score.
And one player who's been absolutely carving up lately is Elliot Anderson. Again, another fixture. I think he will do great.
Yeah, I've got him high up on my list again 2 weeks in a row. Pretty annoyed with myself, actually, because last week on my list, Anderson was top of it. Foden was top, and Thiago was hovering up there, along with Rodgers. So in the end, I went for Foden and Rodgers, and just faded the other 2, which cost me my week.
Yeah, I faded Anderson last week for Rice, just because it seemed like it should have been a good fixture for Rice as well, but Anderson absolutely destroyed it.
I had Rice and Grealish over him.
Yeah.
And Bramo actually has got a good record against West Ham too, so he's 4 goals, 1 assist in 7 games against them, all I believe for Brentford.
Who else? Because there's obviously not that many midfield slots, and we've talked about a lot of very good options.
Yeah, it's going to be very template this round, which is sort of unfortunate. It's unfortunate for anyone who's coming off a bad week, because you want to get back into it. You want to pick some players that you think you're going to do well, but this week it's hard to go away from all the obvious ones, because so many people are going to play them. So we've already mentioned Bruno, Elliot Anderson. Enzo's going to be a popular one because of the fixture, and because he's probably sort of locked with the injuries and red card. Grealish, but he could drop a bit because he hasn't been performing. And Buemo, Foden's going to be another one. A lot of people get starting to click on how good Foden actually is.
Yeah.
I've had this chat with lots of people. He had last year, he had he was having personal issues and mental health issues. Year before, he won the best player in the best player of the season out of everyone, not just the young player, as a 21-year-old or something like that, super young.
Yep. No, I agree. Oh, here we go. Looks like Danny D's in the chat with his Piquet, a good option for you in Classic this week, MJ. Obviously, if you miss a start, stay well away from him. Picked up that silly red card, and we'll be missing. I think it's just still 1 game though, isn't it? Because it's 2 yellows, so it's not.
I think so. Yeah, I believe so. So he'll be back for the weekend. Funnily enough, that's the only misses a day or 2.
Question is, though, do you think he'll come back after the blowout?
Maybe. Nuno's a weird manager. I think he sticks to his favourites, and it's hard not to play someone that talented.
Yeah, no, that's true.
2 more that I've got. Palmer is a chance to come back in, especially with the weaker fixture. They might want to reintroduce him to that. I reckon they plan to sub him on the last round, but the red card just stopped that from being occurring.
Yep.
So I've got his diamond that I'm playing in Challenger, because with Challenger I've entered it late, so there's no chance overall, so I can be a bit weird with my selections.
Yeah,
so
nice.
I'm going there. And then another one I like is Gibbs White. Like the fixture's really good. He's scored before against them a couple of times. Comes out really well in the stats.
Yeah, he does sit like in that goal scoring kind of creative position where, against a Wolves side, you're probably going to get some kind of, attacking involvement. So, yeah.
He's looked good under the new manager too, Dyche.
Yeah, nice. That's always good. I guess that leaves midfield, and I was about to ask a question about the forwards. So let's jump into the forwards for this round. Nottingham Forest forwards, who actually let's have a quick look at the predicted lineups.
Yeah, is Wood back? That's an Eagle Jesus is predicted. Wood's guaranteed out there saying.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, is Eagle Jesus a good pod this week?
I don't like it is Wolves, but I would back like their midfielders to score more than I would him at the moment. I know he's scored a lot in the European football for them, so maybe he is a good pod and he's just going to do it during the week. I'd rather stick with Anderson and chance on Gibbs White. It'd be really good if Gibbs White was classified as a forward because you could probably get away with a pod there. But yeah, it's hard.
So with forward lines, every week we kind of talk about how Haaland's a set and forget. Yeah, he's blanked in what 3? Is it the last 3 he's blanked? Basically the entirety.
I think there's one in there where he was pretty good, like maybe a 20s.
Yeah. 16.5. So he's not done his Haaland scores, though, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Good news is, last 5 games against Fulham, he's scored 5 goals and had 1 assist. Yeah. Okay. So and I think one of those was a hat trick. So might have even been 4 goals actually in one game. So it's probably not the week you want to blank or fade him. Sorry. Especially because he on my usage chart, he's and as he would be for anyone that was predicting usage, he's the highest of any of the forwards.
Yeah. No, I don't have the confidence to drop him, and playing, in Classic Cup still with an All-Star, you've got to play it. One name that I've seen floated around a lot this week is Mateta for Palace. Pretty decent. Hang on, that can't be right. Oh, no, sorry, I'm looking at it the wrong way like I used to have it. Good fixture for Crystal Palace. Yeah, positive 2.6. So with Sarr out, how do you think that's going to impact Mateta?
I think he'll still be all right. Pino's been their go-to creator from the looks. The more worried is Wharton's not predicted to start for some reason.
Okay.
Also, Richards isn't predicted to start.
I did notice Richards, which was a bit strange. I know he had a bit of a niggle, didn't he, Richards?
Yeah, and I get the Canbot is rotated into the European fixtures. I just think with this prediction, it looks like they're going very what the teams are doing in Europe, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think maybe for some of them, but I think majority will just stick to what they've got in the league.
Yeah, okay. So talked about Dyer being a probably good shout this week. Semenyo, another one where should probably, if they come out well, it's just whether they're at a point where they can do well. Are you considering starting either of those two?
Yeah, I've got them both. Those two, Haaland, and who's my last one? Let me have a look. My last one is Saka. I had to look past Saka.
Yeah. So no Mateta then?
Nah, but Mateta's he's next in line, so he might swap for someone else, especially with me getting my forward selections a bit off recently. Semenyo has a good enough fixture. I think it's a game where he could definitely dominate Everton. Who's he up against? He's probably going to be up against Coleman's been injured, I think, so I think they'll go back to O'Brien. Might be a good matchup because O'Brien's tall. Don't think he's overly quick to match Semenyo's speed. So I think he's decent. And then, like, I reckon a lot of people are going to play him too. I reckon him and Haaland are going to be the most popular. I've got Mateta, I've got Pedro and Saka as the next popular ones.
Yep.
Ndiaye.
Sorry,
go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, what about Acuna as well, coming up against West Ham?
Is he back confirmed?
I think he's named in the starting lineup. He's 75%, but okay.
Wouldn't surprise me if they do bring him in then. Could be an option. I don't love bringing people in who are just back from injury. Especially, like, I think I've done it with him before early in the year, and then he redid the injury within 5 minutes. But yeah, he's a decent point of difference. I don't think he's going to be overly played. I also don't think Ndiaye is going to be overly played because you've got Semenyo, Haaland, Mateta, Pedro, Saka. So a good point of difference you could throw. In my point of difference, is going to be Ndiaye at the moment. Doku's probably going to be another one. We get the City lineups, I'm pretty sure, once again.
We do. Yeah.
Along with, is any of the other lineups going to be helpful? Newcastle lineup be helpful because they change their forward line all the time.
And they keep Pope as well.
Yeah, exactly. Pope or Ramsdale will actually see who it is. True. Yep. So we'll get to see the Man City rotation, which is pretty key because of how template the week is. I feel like just jumping onto a City attacker this week that's going to be less popular, who's named. So let's say if they go with what they've been doing, which is Doku, Haaland, and Foden with whoever on the right, then might be hard to chance it because a lot of people still probably be on most of those options. But if someone like a Cherky starts, then could go to him. If Bob plays, then maybe Bob's the player, especially because he's a midfielder, I think, in the game.
Yeah. Is Cherky a midfielder as well?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they both are.
Yeah, so that's,
off topic a little, but
I really like Cherky as well. Just like those games where he's linked up with Haaland, it just looks like a kind of that KDB bromance that those two used to have. So it's nice to see. Who else came out all right for me? Basically, those. I have Saka as underperforming this week based on my spreadsheet.
Could be a week for it.
But still, underperforming Saka is still probably potentially better than an overperforming someone else. So it doesn't necessarily mean don't pick him. It might just mean that it's not going to be their best.
The good thing for him is he's got the weaker side. Like, I think if he plays there, is actually half decent, but he doesn't have the Kyoto side, and Kyoto's been wrapping up people like week to week. So I'm avoiding anyone who's playing on Kyoto's side for the foreseeable future. So he doesn't have that. He could be rotated. Saka could, especially with like Eze's like fit. Odegaard's back. Trossard's still fit. Gabriel Jesus is back.
Is he?
Yep, he was benched last game.
Yeah, right.
Havertz isn't far off either.
Yeah, so it's going to get tight in that side, hey?
So that's why I might swap him to Mateta.
Yeah. Who else? What about Salah? Missed last week.
You would think he would start because he didn't play at all on the weekend. I'm more keen on Isaac, but Isaac could easily be rotated because they don't want him to play multiple 90s in the space couple of days. Like I've in my mini preview I'm going to put out after this, I've just listed 3 star players for each game, and I have Isaac in that game, but I actually think he's very likely not to start, and they'll play Ekitike, Gakpo, and Salah.
Yeah, I'm very nervous after that last week. I mean, luckily he didn't come on at all. That was, I guess, what saved it. But I mean,
didn't save. I didn't have him. So
yeah, but I mean, Bowen came on for him, who did not much either. So it didn't really make that much difference for me.
Speaking of Bowen, I think Bowen's a good option this week.
Yeah.
United aren't the best defensively, and I know we've spoken about United's back 5 tending to be pretty bad for the wingers. I just think with Bowen, he doesn't really rely on his pace and go into the spaces. He's more he will actually attack the goal and cut inside. he's also scored 4 goals in the last 5 against United.
One matchup that comes out pretty nicely is Newcastle against Tottenham. So someone like a Welsh Mad potentially could be a bit of a pod. I just don't think it's the right game to be taking that risk.
Yeah. I think he's in the 3 for that game is real weird for that game because that could go either way pretty easily. This is probably a bit of recency bias, but I don't mind Thiaw, or I don't know how to pronounce his name just yet. Thiaw, the centre back. He's apparently Hal loves him. He's been playing like pretty much every game, and scored 2 goals. Was it from corners on the weekend?
Sure. Yeah. So that's another good shout. I don't have anyone else, so really, Thiago came out really well last week. Not so well this week, so I'd probably be not chasing that bandwagon if I were you guys. Well, you can if you want, but don't blame us. I think that's it. Should we jump into our teams for round 14 as it stands?
Yep.
And then we'll jump into round 15, and then we'll do the giveaways at the end.
Yep.
So, your side I think is up first, which is your classic side. I'll make it a little bit bigger for everyone. Talk us through it.
So I think I've actually talked myself out of Saka there, so that might change the Mateta. Semenyo, Haaland, and I'll preface it by saying my team's very template because it's probably going to be a template week, and I'm worried if I go point of difference all over the place, I'm going to fall further behind. So I'm sticking mainly template. But yeah, Semenyo, Haaland, and I don't think will be overly played. Bruno's going to be pretty much in every team this week after that and this season so far. Anderson, the exact same thing. Probably going to try to up Anderson's rarity if I can. Foden, he's sort of become essential as well because he's like, just seems like he's going to score or assist every game now. He's gotten back to that form. I'm glad I own his diamond for Challenger. Guehi and Munoz are my 2 Palace ones at the moment. Munoz, I doubt's going to get rotated. I don't think there's much option they have to rotate him, and he's pretty fit, probably the fittest Crystal Palace player. Guehi got rotated, I'd say. Apparently he was injured, but he got rotated a few games ago, so doubt he is again. Neco Williams probably going to be one of the most picked defenders this week. Same with Cucurella. Donnarumma, I think he's probably the standout goalkeeper for me this week. I think Raya's any week where Raya actually has something to do, I think is a good pick because he's a good keeper. Then I got Van Dijk, who could change, and then Grealish, who's probably going to stay. And I'm hoping a lot of people just fade him this week.
Yeah, it's a very good team. You're right, it's a pretty template team, but I think there's so many obvious options this week that you kind of have to. I'm showing my champion side just because I know that the person I'm playing against will be lurking in the chat here. So I'm going to keep some things a secret just because we're actually getting into the spicy end of the cup. But for my champion side, I'm running Haaland, Semenyo, Kuna, and Mateta up front. Mainly just because that Cunha's red is why I've got them there. Then Bruno, Grealish, Buemo, Anderson, pretty standard. Defensively, also pretty standard, I'd say. Munoz, Timber, Tarkowski, maybe not so standard. Chalobah, not super convinced on that pick, just because of the predicted lineups. And Van Dijk, and then Henderson and Royce. Royce just is like, that floor score is pretty comfortable for me. Yeah. Henderson, I just think it's an all right matchup. So yeah, that's it.
I do think Henderson's probably going to be up there with one of the more played keepers this week. He's been going well, and there's no reason not to pick him.
Yeah, I don't mind Martinez. Just a bit nervous about it, so I don't think I will take the punt. But let's jump into round 15, which is it feels like a long way away, but it's not actually that far away because I think it's Saturday night, his first game. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. I actually love these quick turnarounds because I'd like to go straight into one another, and it means Pretty sure there's a game on every day, like this week into the next round.
Because the last game of the coming round is Friday.
Yep, and then
Friday
Saturday
morning, and then Saturday we get the next round. So not
Very
a lot of
nice.
time to change your squads. So
Yeah.
make sure you do pencil some time in the diaries to actually sit down and look into it.
So there's two things with that. It's probably best, just in case you end up not being able to make changes, not to reset or clear your teams. Because worst case, you just have the same team from the same round and might get a bit lucky. The second thing is, I think there will be a lot of lucky people that don't change their teams and go very well because players have just played out of their mind against, that you thought would go well last round and go well the following round.
Yeah. So maybe I just want to change my team, and maybe that's the play.
Yeah.
So with round 15, we don't know as much, obviously, as we do about round 14. So this is a lot of speculation, a lot of just the matchups as opposed to the actual form and that kind of stuff. So starting with keepers, pretty similar situation, I think. Lamens, I quite like this round against Wolves, just for the points, the easy points. Everton come out nicely against Forest as well. They're tricky to say how it's actually going to look stat-wise with the new setup, but what have you got so far for round 15 keepers?
Yeah, it'd be I've done much research. So the plan with this is I'll have the full preview for the weekend, so I'll have the most of the in-depth stuff for there, and we're just going to cruise through this and have a little. Oh, that fixture looks good. And by doing that, I'm going to say that Liverpool won't get too many chances against them. I wouldn't think against Leeds, so I wouldn't really go on that game. Tell you what, there's not too many 50. Like the Fulham and Crystal Palace game looks all right because either of those two keepers could get some chances conceded and make some saves. So Henderson's sticking out straight away.
Yeah.
Raya maybe because Villa's not bad Villa at home is very good. So I would say Raya and Henderson are probably my top two from just got a quick browse.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much the same. Yeah. All right. We won't talk too much about keepers because we only got two anyway. And we're probably just going to pick the same two every week, so don't stress. Defense, though. This is where there's a few interesting good matchups.
Yeah.
Someone like a Delict against Wolves. I rate that like a Delict pick. I've done it a couple of times, actually, and it's actually not been terrible. I just worried, like we've said about Wolves, maybe won't be as much to actually do. But yeah, other than that, Everton defenders come out nicely again.
Yeah, with defenders, it's not too much an issue because, like, usually with the teams that you're not conceding many chances against, they're clearing the ball and then you're getting it through that sort of stuff. I tell you what, the first game of this round, lineups aren't really necessary. Villa and Arsenal, we don't really need those. Yeah, so United defenders, they stick out. Who plays Burnley? Newcastle play Burnley. Livramento might be back, so half decent for there. Hull, I think, is going to be one a lot of people are going to play second half of the season now that he's back fit. He people won't realize how good he actually is. So you want to get onto him sooner rather than later. He creates a lot of chances too, like from that fullback. He gets really high forward. It's like last year, if anybody watched Newcastle, because him and Gordon play on the same side, you confuse the hell out of the two of them. And you're like, oh, Gordon's creating a chance and about to get an assist. Oh, wait, that's Hull.
Yeah.
So I'd say the Newcastle defense, pretty good there. You could go Liverpool because I think they might do a number on Leeds, even at Leeds.
Yeah.
Who else? Hard to pick anyone in that Bournemouth, Chelsea M for the defenders.
Yeah.
Maybe City because Sunderland aren't great away.
Yeah. But then, like, who are you picking? Like a Radio?
Yeah. He seems like the one that's sort of nailed down. I do think we will, back to 14 for a sec, I do think we might see Aït-Nouri for City in this round. And then they'll go back to O'Reilly on the weekend.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that it's not a shame for City that O'Reilly's doing, amazing stuff, but you know, Ran is someone that I think everyone invested in pretty heavily
Yeah,
pre-season from
I was high
last
on him.
season. Yeah, and has the All-Star card as well, which a lot of people are kind of hanging on to, hoping to use one day. Um, I it's just going into that Pep back line is tough. Um, yeah, apart from that though, Van Heek could be a all right one against West Ham,
Yep.
but yeah,
Shame with Brighton is their two fullbacks they tend to play, unless Cooper plays, is they're both midfielders.
yep. So you miss out on the
Yeah.
opportunity there. All right, midfield matchups for this round, and obviously make sure you're checking in to see if anything changes. But we have some pretty tasty ones there for Everton again as well. So back to back good fixtures. Probably would be looking at the same players really. So maybe you can just not change your side. It might actually work out nicely for you.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
Yeah, same with United there. They've actually
Yeah. The United. I love plays against their old teams too. So Cunha could be on for one in the forward line.
Yeah. No, nice. And yeah, Newcastle in the middle there. Who would you be picking out of a Newcastle midfield? Like a Tonali, do you think? Or a
That's the thing. So
Bruno?
it'd be great if Ramsey was playing because Ramsey would be the most attacking one. But like you look at the midfield, and it's like John Linton's a very solid central midfielder. Tonali's a very defensive minded midfielder, and Bruno's a very defensive minded midfielder. So I'd go Bruno because he's like the more creative one.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit like I don't know, maybe even with the Burnley fixture, it's worth sticking away. This is where the deep dive's going to help because I'll look at who's actually getting these key passes, these dribbles, crosses, and that's who I'll like lean towards.
Mm-hmm. And then Chelsea coming out all right. This is kind of the time where I think I'll be considering Palmer. I don't think I'll be looking at him this week just because, even I want to see him back because last time he came back, he just hurt himself straight away.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be on that train. But if he gets a decent run in, that's obviously a different injury this time. It was the toe or the foot injury. So hopefully gets a good run this coming round, and then the one after we can start actively considering him.
For sure.
But yeah, that's all I had. Or Gomez as well, I think comes out pretty nicely too.
Yeah, Sosboy, I'd say that's a nice matchup for him.
Yeah. Nice. All right. We're just pumping through these because there's a lot of speculation.
Yeah.
And keep an eye out on the blog coming out later this week. Finally, forwards. So this is one where I think Chelsea is probably the obvious pick here, like Neto or Pedro.
Yeah. I'd lean towards him. Even like Welbeck against West Ham. Minte.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Minte could absolutely tear them a new one.
Yeah, that's actually a great shout. Because Minte is he leading assists for the league? I think I saw someone.
I think so, and I think he's leading key passes as well.
Yeah.
He gets surprised. Like he's a surprisingly good passer for what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, he's definitely someone who I think we should be grabbing that week.
Is Minte going to AFCON?
Oh, that's interesting. Because when do you think we need to start worrying about AFCON?
Well, so it's sooner than I thought. Like 21st of December is when AFCON starts, and I'm pretty sure teams have to release players on like the 16th, if not earlier.
Mm.
So it's like next two rounds, and I think they have to start releasing players.
Yeah, that's tricky because that's gonna change a bunch of stuff. Hey.
Yeah, well, I don't think Minte's going, and Mbeumo's ruled going, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't believe Semenyo's going. I don't think Ghana qualified.
No, they didn't. And Salah obviously going. So that's yeah.
So we'll get a lot of what we just got during the midweek. Oh, on the weekend.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Well, that's probably enough speculation, really, and we'll do a lot of chat in the Discord to make sure that everyone's up to date with round 15. But let's give some stuff away, hey, because everyone's been waiting patiently. We've got a lot of giveaways this episode. Obviously, in the Discord, if you haven't seen, we're running the Game Day Society Advent Calendar, where every day we're going to be giving away a different card from all of the sports. We're going to be hitting every sport, so something for everyone. This week, today, I'm giving away a silver Haaland, which I think will be pretty tasty for a lot of people, especially those playing, I guess, lower down comps, or you'll have to be to use him. But in order to have been on the wheel for this one, you just had to be part of the last video. So I'll bring up the wheel now quickly to see who is the winner. In fact, no, sorry. I'm getting my prizes mixed up. To be on the wheel for that one, you have to have subscribed to the channel and liked the Instagram. So if you haven't done that already, it's not too late to enter for the future rounds. There's obviously 25 prizes we're giving away. For the standard pack opening that we do every week, you had to be comment on the last video. So we'll do that one first because I've got the wheel set up already. So get it a bit better resolution. Cool. So these are all of our entries for the pack opening. We're going to do 2 packs. As always, we'll pick a row each. One will go to us each. One will go to the winner. So the first winner is going to be John T. Congrats, John. Out of the channel. And then, I should have got rid of him. Second winner. We're going to run out of time with all the giveaways. So we got John.
Engineer.
Very nice. All right, let's jump over to my account. Let's see if. I haven't actually got the packs yet. Oh no, I did buy them. All right. So what row do you want for the first one?
I'll go middle again. I think I usually go that.
Yeah, I'll go bottom. So John T, first pack, you're getting the top row. I don't know if they're still All-Stars or not. We must be getting close to the end of them, if not already.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a run at trying to get some of the what's remaining. I think they're going to be pretty crucial next season if even more comps get added.
Yeah, so you're middle, hey?
Yeah, if AFL's anything to go by, that is.
Good start. I'll make it a little bit bigger for everyone, but... so Elliot Anderson. Nice start.
I actually might grab that off you because I could use that this week.
Yeah.
I think it's silver.
Let's see if I can... Just trying to get it a bit bigger for everyone. There we go. That's probably better. All right. Next up, you got Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, yeah.
And then a gold Trafford. Probably.
Trafford.
Least useful cards we could get. All right. For me, I have a silver Ballard, which is pretty handy. Hume, another handy player.
A lot of Sunderland in the back.
Gold Lewis Potter. Interesting. All right, and now for Jonty, we have gold Collins, platinum Marshall, and a silver Anderson. 2 Andersons in the back. Nice. So I'll take a screenshot of that so I don't forget. So Jonty, hit me up in the Discord for those ones. And then the second one's going to Janeth. So same row for you?
Yeah, I'll do the same row.
Sweet. All right. Let's see what you got. Got Chris Wood. Romero.
Not too bad.
And Lukonga. So we've had some decent names here, just not the kind of high rarity things we'll be hunting for, but we are doing common packs, so can't really speak too much. For me, got a Desai, Nunes,
Be handy if Nunes was a defender.
And Pinnock. And then for Jonty, not for Jonty. Jonty's already had his. For Janeth, we have a Obafemi, Paveda, and Platinum Hamada.
Hamada, yeah.
Not the greatest.
Yeah, not one of our all-star back openers.
No,
unfortunately.
Anyway, that does those giveaways. The next one we'll move on to is let's do the advent calendar next. So this is the wheel to win the sharing the right screen now. This is the wheel to win the Silver Haaland. Christmas. So many wheels to keep track of now. So the way it works, everyone gets 5 points for subscribing to the YouTube, 5 points for following Instagram. That gives you like the number of points you have determines the size of your wedge. If you win a prize, you'll lose a point on your wedge, so it gets slightly smaller each time. So we have 26 people on here, which is pretty sweet. And there's more coming in. It's never too late to enter if you want to send through the screenshots. But the winner of the Silver Haaland is going to go to Big Horse. Congratulations, Big Horse. You are the proud new owner of a Silver Haaland. And while I remember, I'll do this later. That's fine. Oh no. The last one we're going to do is the Cup Bounty giveaway. So for those who are still in the Cup, we spin a wheel with a lot of prizes on it to see who gets lucky. So Cup draw. So it's a lot smaller than it was at the start. So we started off with 30 people. We're down to 9. And everyone's wedge size is slightly different. So let's randomize a couple of times and spin it. Or is it mine's?
Yeah, finally wins one.
I think this is the first win for mine. Congratulations. So
good week, good one to win it on.
Yeah. So we'll jump over to the prize wheel now. Heaps of good prizes on here still. Including,
for sure.
Yeah, All-Star cards. There's a 10-player elite pack if he gets very lucky. Diamond Bruno, Diamond Elliot Anderson. Heaps of stuff on here. Let's give it a couple of shuffles.
Yeah. Sorry, Mitchell as well. He'll be a good one.
Yeah. All right.
Back-to-back Haalands.
Wow.
Nice one.
Congratulations. All right. Well, that's it for the episode. So any final pieces of advice coming into the double round?
I have a mini preview on it. I was not going to have too much. Basically, what I've got at the moment, I'll add a couple of things. It's got how many clean sheet each team's kept in the last 5 matchups, how many days break they got between last round, their last 5 home games, their season away form, season home form, and 3 star plays from the matchup. Yeah. So I'll put that out tonight, hopefully, in not too long. And if anyone wants my cheat sheet, just remember you just have to go follow us, subscribe to both our YouTube channels, and then follow us on Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, just YouTube's fine, and just DM me screenshots of it, and I'll send you the cheat sheet.
Yeah, nice stuff. So yeah, if you do like this, please make sure you give the video a like as well. It does help out with the algorithms and whatnot. But we'll leave it there. Good luck to everyone. Good luck to everyone except for the slot machine, who I'm coming up against in the cup.
GameDay.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of banter in the chat later about it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.